When I arrived, I found Mr. Marshall's body impaled in the suit of armor. Come now, Ajay. This is the poorest excuse for a trial I've ever seen. What, now you want to maybe out to the bad guy too? If so, I'd like to put a word or two in my defense.
Objection!
I'm afraid it's too late for that. What? You already declined to testify. That means you forfeit your right to make statements of any sort. Just sit back, relax, and enjoy the sound of noose tightening around your own neck. You think I'm worried? Sorry to disappoint you, but I don't need to make any statements. What do you mean? The evidence will do all the talking for me. Even if I can't testify, I can still present evidence. You still have some conclusive evidence? No, I don't, but someone does. So, what's your excuse, Righto? Why have you been keeping quiet about it? You do have something to show us, right? Something that proves you knocked over Neil Marshall, causing his death? Conclusive evidence that leaves no room for doubts. If any more evidence presented now, if you try to conceal anything, you will be appearing before the Board of Inquiries. Yeah, we'll show it. It's a piece of leather cloth. Yes, it most likely was cut from the victim's vest near his chest. What's this? There's a big handprint on it! Surely it must have been left on the cloth by whoever shoved the victim into the sword. I'm sure Righto has checked, haven't you? Well, whose are they? They're Miss Skies. Miss Emma Skies. What? They're mine? I really did do it? See, I told you it was conclusive.
Objection!
You don't shoot the chief of police, but you do make him a lying liar who lies. Found in your safe. That means it's possible you forged it. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't remember any cloth in my safe. Do you really expect me to believe that?
Objection!
But... give it up, Mr. Wright. It's over. You shouldn't have presented that. By presenting that evidence, you tied Emma Sky to Neil Marshall's death. We probably... Oh, we just lose. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. Okay. Please tell me I don't have to do the entire thing. We have fast forward, right? Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Well, this will take the rest of the stream. But I do find it fun. Like, it's weird that, like, Gaunt can act like this in the courtroom and have, like, no suspicion over him whatsoever? Maybe it's not that weird, given that we live in the year of our Lord 2024, and politicians just do like, heinous shit in public. But it feels like it should be weird.
Hold it!
Oh god, I should have saved before I made a choice. That was my mistake. Oh lordy lordy.
Objection! Hold it!
Just keep fast forwarding.
Hold it!
No, don't. Did not mean to hit press. Now we present the jar.
Objection!
Let's keep going. Oh wow, this is the penalty for losing a case. This is the penalty. Is having to to fast forward through everything that you already watched. All right. Let's keep. Come on.
Objection! 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 Objection!
This is a lot to go through. Even like I can't fast forward. I can only button mash. Oh, I just saw blood come out of her mouth, her finger when she bit it. Jesus. All right, now we're back to where we were. Now we're back. Solid 4 minutes gone. All right, and check. this for the picture. For the picture. Alright, now we're here. Now we're here. Come on. Interrupt us, Gaunt. There we go. And now we get the choice again.
Objection!
And now we'll choose not to present evidence. Unfortunately, we can't show it. This point in time. What? You lie! Chief Gaunt. You opened my safe! I know you took what was inside! Conclusive evidence! I don't know what you're talking about. Oh, I see. It's because you know the truth, don't you? You know whose fingerprints are on it. That's why you won't present it. What are you talking about, Chief Gaunt? Can't you figure it out? Take a good look at this picture. The odd about the chest area. Oh, that is cut off for some reason. You mean you had this in your safe? That means you, Chief of Police, have been concealing evidence? This is going to be the biggest scandal in the history of the police department. Or Tuesday, depending on who's asking. Impressive. To be honest, I didn't think you had the goal, Righto. Well, I can't just let you pin me up as the murderer. I'll tell you what really happened. You mean you admit to it? I was the first person to arrive at the crime scene that day. It then occurred to me that I could use the situation to control Lana. We were manipulating her. I knew Lana. If I made it look like the blame lay with her sister, that's when she saw the scene, she would ask me for my aid. You assisted Miss Sky. I told her to arrange all the evidence. I had her plant the knife tip in the victim's body and move the body across the room. And I ended up using that evidence to get Joe Doc convicted. I tampered with the crime scene. I hid 2 pieces of evidence. This was before Lana arrived at the scene, mind you. But why? For insurance, of course. I was sure my plan would work, but it's always better to be prepared for the worst. I wasn't about to let anyone blame me for a murder that girl committed. What did you take me for, fool? I didn't make police chief by dumb luck. See this jaw fragment? I hid the most legible parts of Emma's name. I didn't expect Lana to go and wipe the blood off all the pieces.
Objection!
If you fabricated all the evidence, let's say you didn't fabricate the message on this jar too. Oh. Some people just don't know when to quit, do they? That's why I kept one more item for insurance. You mean that piece of cloth? Come on, Righto, cough it up already. I know you have it. To admit to it then, Chief Gaunt, that you were hiding this cloth you cut off the victim's vest in your safe. Yes, I admit that I didn't want to have to do that, being chief and all. But it's a lot better than being portrayed as a murderer. Just a moment ago, you said you didn't have any evidence you could present. Foolish move, Righto. You should have shown it then before it was too late. Truth has finally arrived. As long as I don't mess up here, victory is mine. Your Honor, I do have evidence to present now. That shows who actually murdered Chief Marshal. Alright, now we show the cloth. We verify this once more. On the day of the crime, you personally cut out this piece of the victim's vest. Oh yes, at last you finally brought it out into the open. The handprint on this piece of cloth. Your Honor, the prosecution requested immediately sent to a lab for analysis. It's handprint on the leather. This must have been strong impact for it to be left so clearly. Could not have been forged. This must be authentic, conclusive evidence. Oh ho ho! You're as slow on the uptake as ever, Worthy. What? Thinking about it, Wright had all this time to present this evidence. Yet he was reluctant to do so. Why would that be? You mean you already know? You know whose fingerprints are on that. Everything's proceeding as predicted. This is Emma's fingerprints. Emma Sky? What? They're mine? I'm sorry, Emma. But why? Why didn't you tell me? Oh. You're really something, Righto. You knew this girl did it all along. And you still tried to pin the murder on me. So it's true, tragic, but true. This girl really did shove the prosecutor marshal to his death. How could you? You monster! You knew whose fingerprints were all those were all along, yet you acted like she really didn't. Miss Sky, it's not over yet. I said this trial isn't over yet. Ha, but I'm afraid it is over, boy. Not only this trial, but your career, too. You purposely concealed this conclusive evidence. That, my friend, is a serious offense. I'm looking forward to pressing charges after the defendant is convicted. I'll have your badge, boy. What's the matter? Cat got your tongue? Aren't you going to tell us how it feels? How it feels to be the one who single-handedly turned a poor little girl into a murderer? Before I do that, there's just one little thing I have to clear up. Oh, and what's that? Who really killed Prosecutor Neil Marshall? What? Chief Gaunt, you are absolutely right. This piece of cloth proves who the real murderer is. Who killed Neil Marshall, you asked? I'm afraid that's not possible. You see, this piece of cloth contains a critical contradiction. What's a contradiction? What is this fool blabbling about? I'm talking about a contradiction, one that proves who the real killer is. What could it possibly contradict? Behold, some evidence that can fix this cloth. Picture Mr. Sky took. Take a good look at it. See where the piece of his vest was cut out? Yes, his shirt is showing underneath. It's hard to make out with all the blood on his vest, though. To my point, his chest is soaked with blood. That's only natural. His lungs, no doubt, were punctured. Blood poured out of his mouth. Some cloth. Wait. There's no blood on it! Since Emma Sky's fingerprints are on this cloth, there's no doubt that she shoved the prosecutor aside. However, Mr. Marshall was not impaled on the sword at that time. No, this is nonsense! Now then, Chief Gaunt, let me ask you something. Prosecutor Marshall was not impaled when he was shoved aside. He most likely hit his head on the ground and was knocked out. If so, then tell me, who could it have been? Who could have arrived at the scene before Ms. Lana Sky? Picked up the unconscious prosecutor and impaled him on the armor's sword. Then, to make it look like Emma was responsible for the prosecutor's death, said person proceeded to write her name on the jar with the victim's blood. It is never, ever the name. The name is never, ever the one. It's never the one. That's never it. It's never it. Never, ever. And they keep using this thing. It's never the name on the fucking handwriting. Never. They will keep using, oh, the victim wrote the name down. It is never the name they wrote down. Never. In fact, honestly, having someone's name written down is the biggest evidence they are probably innocent. A jar that then broke on purpose to leave behind a clue. And make Lana believe her sister did it. Remember what you admitted only moments ago. That you personally cut out the bloodless piece of the victim's vest. Ironic, isn't it? For the very act of creating insurance, you prove that you were the actual murderer. It's never, ever the fucking person whose name is written on the clue. Never. It's never that person. It's always someone else. But we got him. Oh, that was close, Wright. You almost had me. Sorry, but you'll have to do better than that. I refute your allegation. You see, that piece of cloth is illegal evidence. What nonsense is this? Illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a suspect. Remember, Aji. Really old writer here concealed that piece of cloth. Well, that's true. The defense did refuse to present evidence. At that moment, that piece of evidence ceased to be legal evidence. Ho 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 ho! Did you actually think you could best me in court? It looks like the last laugh's on you, son. I'm afraid Mr. Gaunt's claim is legally correct. Well, Mr. Edgeworth? True, illegal evidence cannot be used to convict a person. Assuming, of course, that the evidence is indeed illegal. Well, Mr. Wright? It's finally time. The time for me to reveal my plan has finally arrived. Do you admit to it, that you purposely concealed... I did not. I refuse to present at one point. Ah, so the evidence is illegal.
Objection!
No, it isn't, Mr. Gaunt. Huh? It's not that I didn't present the evidence then. It's that I couldn't. There are certain procedures involved in presenting evidence. Not that it's ever bothered us before. No, Udgy, don't listen to his lies. He's nothing but a coward you can't really believe.
Objection!
There is only one issue left to be resolved in this trial. Is this evidence legal or not? Refuse to present evidence. If you can prove your conduct was not in violation of the law, then do so now. It's a good thing we have this handy book of evidence law.
Take that!
This is my proof, Your Honor. Evidence law. What's this? I've done my homework too, Chief. Indeed, Emma Sky's fingerprints were on this piece of cloth. However, at that point in time, this was merely a piece of cloth, nothing more. What? You see, it's written right here in this book. The second rule of evidence law. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. I found this piece of evidence myself, inside your safe. It goes without saying, I did not have approval from the police department. Rule 2. Unregistered evidence must be relevant to the case on trial. And here is the crux of the matter. You see, at the time it was impossible for me to prove that the relevance between the cloth and the SL9 incident. What kind of nonsense is this? You want relevancy? Just take one look at this picture and...
Objection!
Sorry, but can you recall, when was that picture presented? That was shown only a few moments ago. No! He's right. At the beginning of today's trial, that piece of cloth was still meaningless. The person who gave it a value as evidence was you, Damon Gaunt. You yourself confessed to a certain truth. Day of the crime. The person cut out this piece of evidence vest. Oh yes. It was then that you approved this cloth as conclusive evidence. Yes, you, the Chief of Police, personally approved this cloth. The person who could have cut this from the victim's vest is the one who stood before Prosecutor Marshall in his final moments. In other words, the real murderer. And there's only one person that could be. Damon Gaunt. The killer was you! It's okay. It's okay. Don't worry if you have some mana open. I also have blue mana open. I always have blue mana open. And I have Gaunt's salty tears to tap for mana. Holy shit!